2008 Saturn Outlook with the 3.6 V6 engine, and today we're going to be replacing the alternator. Let's get to it. And the first thing we're going to be needing is our drive belt removal kit, specifically this tool right here because it has the 1/2-inch head on it. And I'm going to go ahead and utilize this 3/8-inch head because they connect together like this. It just makes it a lot easier. And underneath the vehicle, typically this would be held up underneath here. Actually, I think it bolts up kind of like right there, but this is just hanging, so I'm just gonna tuck this out of the way as best as I can. And underneath here we can see our drive belt, and right there we can see our drive belt tensioner. Now, I'm going to go ahead, grab our 1/2-inch extension tool and insert that. Then you can grab our 3/4 inch and connect right onto it. Taking the tension off of it by prying it in a loosening fashion or a clockwise, and then we can just go ahead and this smooth pulley right here, it'll just slide right off of that, and go ahead and remove the drive belt from the rest of the pulleys. And here's our drive belt diagram for reference. And before we get back up topside, this pulley right here, the bolt that holds that pulley in is actually the lower bolt for the alternator. And before we get back up topside, we need to loosen this bolt on this pulley because that bolt is actually the lower bolt for the alternator. And this doesn't need to be removed. It's a 15mm, by the way. So when we pull out the alternator, we're gonna be taking that pulley out with us. But you'll see that when I actually do it. Alright, up top, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and disconnect our power cable. It's a 13mm. Go ahead and pull both of these cables off. I'll try this. This thing looks like it's damaged a little bit. But go ahead and close that cover so none of these reconnect because we don't want to get shocked while we're removing the alternator. Next, let's go ahead and get these 3 10mm bolts out of here. The first one is our AC line, and these go to our coolant reservoir, which we should be able to fandangle a little bit. And if we look straight down here, you can now see our alternator right here. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect its connector, pull that out of the way, and its power lead, which looks to be a 12mm. It is. Go ahead with the 12mm stubby. it looks like we have brackets connected to both of the top bolts for this alternator on studs, and they are 15 millimeters. Our first one. I'm gonna go ahead and move this bracket out of the way. And our second one is gonna be pretty much impossible to see. Our second one. And go ahead and move that bracket and move this line out of the way. And with those two nuts removed, our alternator is free. The only thing we have left to do is to remove the studs. And to remove those studs, you're going to need a 7 millimeter. I'm going to go ahead and put a 7 millimeter onto a 3/8 adapter, so that way I can use my electric ratchet. I'm going to go ahead and remove that harder to see one first. There's our first stud. Go ahead and add a universal joint. See if I can't squeeze this out of here. That was going very well, but then I ran out of space. There it goes. Just need a couple more turns. There's our second stud. And now, a little bit of a wiggle. And looks like I'm gonna have to remove this cover. I'm gonna go ahead and leave my oil cap off too. there's our alternator, and there's the pulley. And you go ahead and remove this piece and install it on your new alternator, and then reinstall in the reverse order. Well, that's pretty much all there is to it. If you'd like to see more videos on this vehicle, go ahead and check out that one next. I made that one just for you. But other than that, if this video helped you out, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. See y'all next time.